Usually crops require a lot of nitrogen to make proteins. After the harvest, the soil becomes deficient in nitrogen. You learned that though nitrogen gas is available in plenty in the air, plants cannot use it in the manner they can use carbon dioxide. They need nitrogen in a soluble form. The bacterium called a rhizobium can take atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into a soluble form. But rhizobium cannot make its own food. So it lives in the roots of gram, peas, mung, beans and other legumes and provide them with nitrogen. Most of the pulses are obtained from leguminous plants. In return, the plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. They thus have a symbiotic relationship. This association is of great significance for the farmers. They do not need to add nitrogen fertilizer to the soil in which leguminous plants are grown. Other than carbohydrates, these plants will also synthesize proteins. For the synthesis of protein, plants need nitrogen. We have already discussed that the plants cannot use the nitrogen which is present in gaseous form in the air. Then how do plants get these nitrogen? Do you remember that? Yes, there are bacteria present in the soil that will convert the gaseous form of nitrogen into usable form, and these are taken up by plants. So here we are discussing about rhizobium. It is a bacterium that can convert this gaseous nitrogen into usable form, as we have already discussed. This rhizobium lives on the roots of legumes like gram, peas, mung, beans, etc. and provides them nitrogen. In return, the leguminous plants will provide shelter to the rhizobium. So this is also an example for symbiotic relationship, isn't it? Yes. So in this case, it is not necessary to add nitrogen to the plants since they already receive nitrogen with the help of rhizobium. In this chapter, you learned that most of the plants are autotrophs. Only a few plants adopt other modes of nutrition like parasitic and saprotrophic. They derive nutrition from other organisms. All animals are categorized as heterotrophs since they depend on plants and other animals for food. Can we say that the insectivorous plants are partial heterotrophs? So, in this chapter, we have learned about 3 modes of nutrition. What are they? Yes, autotrophic mode of nutrition, heterotrophic mode of nutrition, saprotrophic nutrition. So, among these, most of the plants are autotrophs and some are saprotrophs. For example, yes, fungi. There are also insectivorous plants. Okay, so far we have discussed about the chapter, and also I have given you some question answers during the time of discussion, isn't it? Yes, so do you remember that? Okay, anyway, I will tell you that question answers one more time. Okay, so first we have discussed about nutrients, its definition. So I have given a question, what do you mean by nutrients? Isn't it? And along with that, I have also asked you to mark down the answer in the answer in your textbook, isn't it? Yes. So the first question was about nutrients. The second question was, why do organisms need nutrients? I hope you have marked down the answer too. There were 4 points, isn't it? Yes. The third one was the definition for the term nutrition. Yes, we have marked down the answer for that also. The fourth one was to define the mode of nutrition or the different types of mode of nutrition. And also along with that, we have to study the terms autotrophic mode of nutrition or autotrophs and about heterotrophic mode of nutrition or heterotrophs, isn't it? So, do you remember that? Yes, we have marked down that also. Okay, the fifth one about cells. I have given you the structure for cells and also explained the important terms which is associated with these cells, and also cells definition has been discussed. Okay, so the sixth one, definition for the term photosynthesis. Do you remember? Yes. So we have discussed the definition for the term photosynthesis. And the seventh question, the process of photosynthesis. Yes, we have discussed that also. We have given reactions and all. Do you remember that? Yes. Eighth one, definition for the term chlorophyll. Okay, such a simple definition was that. Ninth one, about algae. Okay, algae, the definition and also its mode of nutrition. They are autotrophs. Do you remember that? Yes. 10th question, how do plants obtain nitrogen? We have discussed that about the bacterium that present on the soil will convert this nitrogen in gaseous form into usable form, and these plants will take this nitrogen from the soil. Do you remember? Yes. 11th question, heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants. Give me one example for that. Yes, Cuscuta. So, we have discussed about this heterotrophic mode of nutrition and also about one example, that is Cuscuta. Okay. 12th one, insectivorous plants. We have discussed the definition and also the process of mode of nutrition in pitcher plant. Isn't it? Yes. 13th question, about saprotrophs or the saprotrophic mode of nutrition and also about fungi. Yes. The next question, the symbiotic relationship, and also we have discussed so many examples about the symbiotic relationship between fungi and tree and also about lichens, isn't it? And also one more thing, yes, rhizobium and the leguminous plants, they are also having a symbiotic relationship. So we have discussed that also. And this rhizobium and leguminous plants is an important question, so we can include that as our 15th question. So explain the symbiotic relationship between rhizobium and the leguminous plants. So coming to the exercises, first question, why do organisms need to take food? We have already discussed it. Distinguish between a parasite and a saprotroph. The answer is parasite feeds on a living organism, whereas saprotrophs, they feed on dead and decaying organism. Parasite, the organism on which it feeds, is called a host, and saprotrophs, they do not feed on a living organisms. So coming to the third question, how would you test the presence of starch in leaves? The answer is, the presence of starch in leaves can be tested by iodine test. When we remove chlorophyll from leaf by boiling it in an alcohol and then put 2 drops of iodine solution, its color changes to blue, indicates the presence of starch. So we have discussed this about the iodine test in an activity. Do you remember that? Yes. So by the help of iodine test, we can find out the presence of starch in leaves. Okay. So write down these points. Coming to the fourth question, give a brief description of the process of synthesis of food in green plants. The answer is, the green plants have chlorophyll in the leaves. The leaves use carbon dioxide and water to make food in the presence of sunlight. And along with that, we can write down this reaction also. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll will give carbohydrate and oxygen. Okay. Coming to the fifth question, to sketch to show that plants are the ultimate source of food. Okay, so this is a sketch for showing that plants are the ultimate source of food. So coming to the sixth question, fill in the blanks. First one, green plants are called dash since they synthesize their own food. The answer is, yes, green plants are called autotrophs. Okay, second one, the food synthesized by the plants is stored as, tell me. Yes, starch. So starch is the answer. In photosynthesis, solar energy is captured by the pigment called, which is that pigment? One green colored pigment. Yes, chlorophyll. Next one, during photosynthesis, plants take in dash and release dash. We have seen it in one reaction. Do you remember that? Yes, plants take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Okay, got it? Yes. Coming to the seventh question, name the following. A parasite plant with yellow, slender and tubular stem. Which is that? A parasitic plant? Yes, Cuscuta. So the answer is Cuscuta. Second one, a plant that has both autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Insectivorous plants. Third one, the pores through which leaves exchange gases. Stomata. Now coming to the eighth question, tick the correct answer. Amarbel is an example of autotroph, parasite, saprotroph, host. This is an example of parasite. Okay, Amarbel is an example of parasite. Next one, the plant which traps and feeds on insects is called a Cuscuta, China rose, pitcher plant, rose. Yes, the plant which traps and feeds on insects is pitcher plant. Okay, so the answer is pitcher plant. Now coming to the ninth question, match the items given in column 1 with those in column 2. Okay, so in column 1 they are given chlorophyll. We can match it up with leaf in the column 2, isn't it? So chlorophyll to leaf. Next one, nitrogen. Yes, in column 2 we can match it up with bacteria. Because bacteria helps plants to take this nitrogen, isn't it? Yes, so nitrogen to bacteria. Next one, amarbel. Amarbel to parasite. Amarbel is a parasite. Okay, so match it up with parasite. Next one, animals. So here they are given heterotrophs. Animals use heterotrophic mode of nutrition, isn't it? So match animals with heterotrophs. Next one, insects. Yes, to pitcher. Coming to the 10th question, mark T if the statement is true and F if it is false. Okay, so let's do some true or false statements. First one, carbon dioxide is released during photosynthesis. It's false. Yes, it's false. What is released during photosynthesis? Oxygen is released, isn't it? So it's a false statement. Second one, plants which synthesize their food themselves are called the saprotrophs. Yes, it's also false. So the plants which synthesize food by themselves are known as autotrophs. So this statement is false. Next one, the product of photosynthesis is not a protein. It's true, isn't it? The product of photosynthesis is not a protein. Next one, solar energy is converted into chemical energy during photosynthesis. It is also true. The solar energy is converted into chemical energy. Okay, so the statement is also true. Coming to the 11th question, choose the correct option from the following. Which part of the plant takes in carbon dioxide from the air for photosynthesis? Stomata. Choose the correct option from the following. Plants take carbon dioxide from atmosphere mainly through their leaves. So I hope you all have understood the chapter and I have given you some extra questions. So study that and along with that question study these exercises also. Okay, so I have given you the answer for the exercise also. So study these all and along with this you have to read the chapter for 4-5 times. Okay. So I hope you all have understood the chapter. If you have any doubts, you can comment it.